Hello everyone, I'm Blue Orion, and I'd like to welcome you to Overwatch Oversight. If you've come to learn more about Overwatch operatives, missions, and strategies, you've found the right place. Let's go ahead and dive into those Overwatch classified files. Let's see who we can learn more about today. Here we go. This robot unit to this day is still seen as a symbol of the horrors of the Omnic Crisis. Bastion is a self-aware siege automaton. Now he was severely damaged in one of the final battles of the Omnic Crisis. He was left abandoned and forgotten. They thought he was unsalvageable. Turns out after some time, Bastion reactivated all on his own. His active programming was wiped clean. Now he found a deep connection to nature, and he tries to avoid human contact whenever possible. This is because when threatened, his core combat programming takes control. Bastion is a defense unit, specializing in making the enemy pay dearly for every step. He's got 3 configurations to assist him in this role. His main role is recon. Bastion is armed with a medium-range submachine gun. If you're looking to do a little bit more damage and some protection, try configuration Sentry. This stationary mode is armed with a short to medium-range Gatling gun, as well as a forward-facing shield unit. If you're wanting to do even more damage, try out his ultimate configuration, Tank. You gain a long-range cannon loaded with explosive shells. It's a little bit slower than Recon, but you gain area damage and an extended range of fire. Now some strategies to try out with Bastion. Whenever possible, use Sentry mode for its higher damage and its shield. Now you need to be aware of your environment. Try using doors and hallways to cover your unprotected sides and back. Now the tank mode is great for covering a retreat. Those explosive shells will make anyone think twice about following you as you retreat. It's also great for pushing on groups of enemies. That area damage from the explosive shells can take out multiple enemies at once. Now if you're looking for a great team, try joining Reinhardt. He's also got a heavy-duty forward-facing shield, so if you back up, you can cover each other and have nearly a 360 degrees of protection. Now this will also work with a Bastion unit. If you're looking for just some shielding, I recommend Winston. Winston's projected shield is stationary as well, so you don't lose anything by entering Sentry mode in it, where you're stuck in one place as well. Now another fun thing to try out, if you've got Torbjorn in your party, have him set up his turret in a corner. And you can be just ahead of him with your forward-facing shield protecting him, and once his turret is set up, joined with your Gatling gun, no one is getting close to you. Now to learn the capabilities of Bastion, we will join him on a mission to King's Row. King's Row is set in the heart of England. You can feel it in the architecture, the double-decker buses, and even down to the cobblestone paths. This mission takes place because the human-Omnic relations are strained at best. There's been lots of protesting going on, and someone has decided to clear out the underground Omnic city with a huge EMP bomb. Now King's Row is a combination map, which means first you will need to fight to gain control of the bomb. Then you will need to escort the payload to its final destination. Now as Bastion, You'll want to take advantage of the narrow streets, the numerous doorways, and the high walkways to help protect yourself. Now, Bastion will be joined by Torbjorn, Reinhardt, Zenyatta, Symmetra, or McCree. On the opposite side, you'll be going against Pharah, Mercy, Reaper, Zenyatta, Zarya, and Tracer. Let's go ahead and move to the mission. Let's take a look here. Now, Overwatch has tons of destroyable, movable objects. You never know what's going to happen if you take a few well-placed shots. Anything can happen. Now we're going to set up and try and take this high route to use it to our advantage and shoot down on some enemies. It looks like Pharah and Mercy are already teamed up to cover that area, so we're going to make a retreat into the safe zone and try the other exit. Now this doorway is a great use for Bastion. See how no one can get a shot at him? His shield is fully protecting him, nothing's getting through. His back is covered as well as his sides. Now his shield was starting to give out there, so we're going to move up a little using our submachine gun as we go. Here we go back to sentry mode with that high wall on our side protecting us. Now it looks like it was a good thing we were right up against that wall, because Reaper was trying to make his way, and if he had gotten beside us, he would have easily taken us out. Now this time we've set up right in front of that statue, again for the same idea, protecting our sides. Took some hits, so a med kit and our self-repair will get us topped right back up. Looks like we were able to take out a Tracer with our submachine gun, and now we're set up in the perfect place. This corner, we're well protected, and we can use our Gatling gun to walk through the enemies. We've taken out a Reaper. Looks like Zarya is going to try and stop us, so let's engage our tank mode. Use those explosive shells to clean things out. Now it looks like we've about got the bomb captured. There we go. So now we're going to have to escort it through the streets of King's Row. One great thing about payload missions for Bastion, you can set up on top of it and engage your sentry mode. It'll move you around, getting you into position to take out enemies. It's the only way to really move yourself around a map while in sentry mode. Now we're going to clear things out a bit so no one's coming at us from behind. Now look what happens when we set up at this end of this hallway. Look at all the damage we throw through it. That forward shield protecting us, if anyone was trying to come at us through that way, they would be stopped dead in their tracks. Now this is a great triple team. Reinhardt up front with his heavy shield covering, Bastion just behind providing more shielding as well as cover fire, and Torbjorn setting up his turret right behind. Now once the turret's set up, it'll attack close by enemies and keep the payload moving even if we're not there. Now it looks like we're taking some heavy fire, and there goes our shield. So we're going to have to go and find the enemies so that we can continue on. We don't seem to have a very good shot, so let's move around and recon and see what we can do. Can't quite get the shots, but Reaper's found us, as well as Zenyatta's thrown a Discord orb on us, which means we take more damage, and Zenyatta was able to... I'm sorry. That was Reaper that took us out, with help from Zenyatta. Looks like Symmetra has got a portal ready for us already, so we're back in the action already. And the payload, it looks like, is being protected by 4 units, so we're going to try to flank them. Now we're going to try using this tank mode with its explosive shells. We've eliminated Zenyatta. Some heavy damage. Oh, Reaper was able to pretty much one-shot us while we were activating that self-repair. We couldn't use our weapons and no shields. Now the payload is getting pretty close to this advanced spawn point, so we're going to forego the portal and try and get above it so that we can provide some cover fire. Well, we've got a great angle. It doesn't seem like there's anyone within range. Reaper's coming up the side, so it's a good thing we were already moving. Let's go ahead and repair, get us topped off, and let's move to a better position and see if we can't cover that payload again. Ooh! Zarya's pulled us down with a graviton surge. The only other way that we can really be moved around is by enemies' moves that pull us around. Top ourselves off. Now see this S-curve in the road? This is a great place for Bastion to be on the payload. That forward shield will protect him as he's moving, and the payload will move him right into position to make heavy attacks on the enemy units. We've got a Tracer taken out. There goes Zarya. Now this last little bit of stretch, they're going to push hard. So we're going to want to keep mobile, using that recon mode and the submachine gun. We're taking some fire from behind. It's Mercy. She's getting close to taking us out, but with our submachine gun we were able to take her out a little bit faster. We got some armor from Torbjorn. A couple units left. That tank with that explosive shell. And that's a match. Congratulations. That is a successful mission led by Bastion. Now Bastion can be a powerhouse when he's set up correctly. Take a look here where he's set up in that corner. He can walk his Gatling gun through the enemies, and when Zarya jumps behind, he quickly goes to tank mode so he can make a retreat and use those explosive shells to finish him off. Now, Bastion does have his weaknesses. He is not a very mobile unit. Even in recon mode, he's not very fast. And as soon as you enter sentry mode, you are stuck in place unless you happen to be on top of a payload, or you're pulled around by enemy moves, which is never really a good thing. But if you are aware of your environment, you can become a powerhouse that the enemy will just be frustrated by. Now that concludes my review of Bastion. What do you think? Are you ready to give the robot with a heart a try? Let me know what you think. You can find me on Twitter at BlueOrion, that's with a 30 in the middle, or you can email me at operativeblue@gmail.com, and that's with a 3. Thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for future episodes.